Hey Giants Nation, thanks for clicking on the video. Today's video we're going to be talking about something that I feel very strongly about, and I've made many videos about this. Having the Giants not having a top go-to wide receiver. You can argue that Slayton is that guy. Not that I don't disagree with you, but across from him, who is there that's going to scare the defense? Is it Sterling Shepard? Is it Tate? They're not going to stretch the field. Ingram is not going to stretch the field. Since Odell was traded, we haven't had any top wide receiver. And with Odell had Sterling Shepard, but he's a slot. You look at Eli's wide receivers of past: Amani Toomer, Plaxico Burress, Mario Manningham. The list goes on. There's a ton. Hakeem Nicks. Victor Cruz. How do I forget Victor Cruz? There's always, if there was a big wide receiver, there was always another good name wide receiver who people were like, okay, if you can't get to, it's famous in the Super Bowl where it says you have to take away Cruz, you have to take away Nicks. Have Manningham beat you by Bill Belichick, and Manningham beat him on the sideline. So these are 5 wide receivers that we could potentially go out now and be that threat that could open up a lot of things, like the running game. Number 5, it's very interesting to me, is Michael Thomas. I'd immediately give up a first-round pick for Michael Thomas. I don't care what round or how low we are or whatever. I would give up a first-round pick for Michael Thomas. The reason I put Michael Thomas in here was because he recently just got he was out of the game Monday for contract conduct detrimental to the team, which they coded it like that because they could completely void his contract and he wouldn't be paid anything. So would they try to trade him? It's funny. The reason why he got in a fight with the defensive back was because they were talking back and forth, and the DB said something to the effect of, "Come on, slant boy," because that's the only thing Michael Thomas does is run slants. He's a big-bodied guy, but he only runs slants, is what they say. But having Thomas and Slayton on the 1 and the 2, that would be huge. Having that Daniel Jones having a big wide receiver to go to like that, come on, that would be great. Up until this little thing that happened at practice, you never really heard anything about Michael Thomas. He led the league last year with like 147 receptions, so he's a solid receiver. If he were ever to be on the open market, I think the Giants should take a keen look at him to be Daniel Jones' go-to guy for the next 4 years. Next is Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson has been very vocal about his want for a new contract, or to be traded from the Bears, and he's another big wide receiver who is great on the outside. If you remember, when Plaxico came, he was Eli Manning's savior. Big, tall. He can get up above the defensive back, safeties, and just go up for the ball. And he had good hands. So Allen Robinson would fit that mold, but he's faster than Plaxico Burress. So stretch the field. Him and Slayton could stretch the field, where you can open up the run game. You can get Ingram involved more. The 5-yard digs and outs and slants aren't working, so something to stretch the field. Next, I've got Kelvin Ridley. We'll do 3 and 2 together. Kelvin Ridley and Julio. I don't think so. The reason I put them in there was because the Atlanta Falcons president came out today and said earlier yesterday, that anybody on their team could go. They're going to strip the team down. They're 0-5. They are officially in rebuild mode. And that's huge. Kelvin Ridley is a young guy. And Julio, everybody knows Julio. I would think that they would want less for Kelvin Ridley. Julio is the best wide receiver in the league, and they probably would want a first and more for Julio. Again, I would give a first for Julio Jones. That would be huge. He would go from one 0-5 team to another. Um, the the Atlanta defense has good parts to it, but they're just not meshing well for whatever reason. Where this defense is good, the team is moving forward each week. Right now, the Giants are eighth in yards allowed in the NFL. So coming to a team that has a really bright future at defense and good pieces on offense with Saquon coming back next year, Kelvin Ridley or Julio Jones, 3 and 2 respectively, would be a great addition for the Giants. Either one of them. They're both big, strong, and fast, and tall. Again, the main thing that the Giants need, I think, I personally think, a tall, big-bodied receiver who can box out and jump, use some basketball skills to go up and get the ball. Now, the last one, I think the Giants could actually potentially trade for. Um, I'm not saying they would trade for him and sign him, um, but I would be okay if they just traded for him. They probably would only have to give a third round pick at the most, maybe a fourth, but that's AJ Green. AJ Green has not been happy in Cincinnati in 2 or 3 seasons, and he just wants out. Um, Burrow is not throwing to him; he's throwing to Boyd. Boyd and I forget the other receiver. I just looked it up today. Um, but AJ Green is not a bad wide receiver. He's just the Cincinnati Bengals are just a bad team. They've been a bad team for years, and the ownership isn't trying to do anything. They drafted Joe Burrow. They have Joe Mixon, but you really look at their team and you question who do they have. So AJ Green, I think, is somebody who you could get, and you wouldn't have to really trade a lot. The Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Allen Robinson, and Michael Thomas, you probably have to give up a first round pick. Maybe a second round pick for Allen Robinson. Calvin Ridley could be maybe a second round pick. Julio is definitely a first, and Michael Thomas is definitely a first. But AJ Green, you could probably get for a third or a fourth. He's 31 years old, and you don't even have to re-sign him if you don't want to re-sign him. If Allen Robinson doesn't sign a deal with the Bears, you can go and get him. There's a couple others. There's Devontae Parker. Juju was not offered a fifth-year option. I did not put Juju on the list because they're not shopping Juju. They put him back in the slot where he is good. They're just not shopping him right now. He may sign with the Steelers, but I think Juju would be great. I would like to get Juju as well, but that's a free agent topic. Um, so AJ Green is somebody who I think the Giants could possibly actually get. Um, and in a weak NFC East, say it all the time, um, I want to win. There are people out there who they want, tank. You get Trevor Lawrence. The Jets are bad. The Jets are not going to win a game. They're just not. And they're already talking about what they can get for Sam Darnold and etc. So the Jets are going for Trevor Lawrence. He's the top quarterback prospect. The best one you've seen is Andrew Luck. So I want to win games. I'm tired of losing. I'm sure other Giants fans are tired of losing. If you want Trevor Lawrence, great. We could have had Chase Young last year, but we won games. So the Giants are just going to do that. And Joe Judge, he's building a culture, and it's a good culture so far. So that's just what I think. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If anybody, Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson, Calvin Ridley, Julio, or AJ Green, if you'd like to pick up any of those guys, or somebody else that maybe you heard that could be on the trading block, leave me a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks, everybody.